Hey again, it's Jennifer with Northwest Stamper here, and I am back to share a card that I have been meaning to share for a long time. It is the Enjoy the Little Things card that has the cute drapery fold on the bottom. You can see it here in the picture that I'm sharing because I've managed to completely misplace the actual original card. But I have all the pieces and I'm going to walk you through how to do it because it's such a fun technique. And this card is really adorable and unfortunately uses a bunch of things that are retiring on the Stampin' Up! Retirement list. So I wanted to make sure to show you how they all came together while they were still available. And so you could use the technique to make other cards that you might love using the same idea and just using different pattern paper and stamps. So first we'll start with the basics. So it's just going to be your regular card base that's 5.5 by 8.5. So I scored it here at 4 1/4 so that I could make my standard card base. So I will just push that flat here real quick and we'll set that aside for now. You're also going to need some of this burlap ribbon. This burlap ribbon is retiring. They're going to come out with a new one that's a looser weave, but I do kind of love the different options you have from this tighter weave one. So I will be missing this, but you need, really, I think I cut them to be about 4.5 inches is because we want them a little bit longer than our card base so we can trim it off. Same goes for this gorgeous Pool Party glimmery ribbon that is also saying its fond farewell, but you'll need at least I would say do at least 5 to 5.5 inches because we're going to actually, well, this one will probably trim off too, but just give yourself a little extra. Then you'll need your piece of pattern paper. Now this one we are using, I think it's the Birthday Basics, if I said that, or Birthday Blooms. I don't know. If I said it wrong, I'll put it on the screen because it's completely out of my mind right now. But this is this cute pattern paper. This piece that you need is going to be 7.5 inches by 3 inches. So 7.5 by 3, which means you can cut a nice set of 3s. But what I would do is if you're cutting this out of if you're making more than one card out of a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, here, let me grab it and I'll show you. The most efficient way to cut this is that you will take, see here's this pattern pack. Oh look, I can look it up. Birthday bouquet. I was close-ish. Got birthday. Got something related to flowers, right? So this is one of the other sheets, but it will do for now. When you're cutting this, if you cut at 7.5 here, that's going to give you 3.5 inches that you can use for another card. So do 7.5 on here, and then you can do 3, 3, 3. So you should get 4 pieces that are 3 by 7.5. Then you'll have another piece here that you'll be able to also do a 3 by 7.5. So you can actually get 5 of these card pieces out of one sheet by 12 by 12. So 7.5, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then deal with this extra strip. Okay, so we have this here. Let me show you how we do the drapery fold first. Now the easiest way to do this is to if you have a Simply Scored board or some other scoring tool, this is going to be the easiest way to do it. Now I love how on the Simply Scored board it comes with 3 of these little markers, and you can pop them out and put them wherever you want. So I've preset them to where I want to go because otherwise I'll be talking and completely forget. I also have this template here so that it makes it easy for you to see as well. So on the 7.5 inch side, we're going to score at 2 3/4, 3 1/4, 4 3/4, and 5 7/8. That one's the weird one. The reason why it's a little bit strange is so that you could have it fold and have it exactly fit on your card front and that you don't have to trim anything down. So take your pattern paper and then I would, and yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we'll go ahead and score. I would use with pattern paper, use the fat tip of your stylus as opposed to the skinny tip. The skinny one has more of a tendency to tear your pattern paper. So I'm going to do this at 2 3/4, 3 1/4, 4 3/4, and 5 7/8. And this is why doing this, you can do this with your trimmer. It's just nice if you have a board because you can do all your scoring at one time and you know they're going to be perfectly spaced instead of trying to slide it down on your board, on your trimmer. Either way works, but this is just how I like to do it. Now, once you've done the scoring, so my scoring on here, it's hard to see because of the pattern, lines up along here, you're going to go from this bottom point up to somewhere around, this is approximately 1 1/4 inch. You can kind of pick and choose where you want it. It's not that important, but the easiest way to do that is you'll take it into your trimmer, and how there's this cutting, this line for cutting, is you'll just put that scored line there, and you just turn until you get to about where you want it to go, and then you'll cut. So that same thing here, and sometimes it's easier to kind of make a little line, you know, probably in pencil so that it's, you can erase it. So you just put the little point there, and then you just keep turning until it's about where you think you want it to be. You can also do this with scissors. I just like the straight line that you get with the trimmer. So you just set that down, cut, and then you have that same look. Look at that, without even measuring, almost exactly the same. Amazing. I guess I had a point that I just really liked. So once you've cut that, so now we've done from this point, this score line, all the way up to here. Now you're just going to do a zigzag fold. So you're going to fold it towards itself. So we fold it backwards and then forwards. Go to the next score line. Go backwards, forwards. And so now that's what gives us the cute drapery that will fit on the front of your card. And it just looks like you have a cute little ruffle. Now you don't have to do any adhering here. I sometimes will do just a tiny bit, where I'll just do just like a little there and a little there, just to sort of help it stay. I only adhere it at the top because I like it to have that little ruffle. Oh, it didn't actually get any on there. Oops. There we go. So it has that little ruffle, and then I'll flip it over and I'll actually do the tape runner all the way across, and this is what really helps it hold together, is that you have it, because it'll hold down onto the page together. And then you can just add a little more on here to help hold it down, and then just make sure your card opens the right way. How many times have I done that wrong? Put it on here so that it glues down. Excuse me. So then you have your start of your card. Quick and easy, right? For sure. Now we're going to add our other ribbons. Now what I would recommend, if you can, sometimes the adhesive is a little bit finicky, but if you kind of press firmly, get a little bit of adhesive on here, your burlap ribbon, words fail me sometimes, and then we just sort of tuck this on so that it's just sticking up a little, and then we'll add a little bit more to kind of help adhere this to our card front. So I just think it's easier to stick the ribbon to the pool party glitter ribbon to the burlap ribbon, because otherwise you're trying to play the guessing game, and that's sort of hard. So pick where you like. So I'll maybe stick it down about here, and then you can just press it down so that it's firmly. You might take your bone folder, help press it into place, make sure everything sticks. Then you can take ribbon scissors if you have them, flip it over, and just trim off any excess that you may have. So like that, and like that. And as you can see, our card is coming together nicely. Now, to kind of finish it off, there's two parts. We're going to use this Enjoy the Little Things stamp set. This is from the Occasions catalog. It was super easy to miss because it was right next to a great project kit that was the Enjoy the Little Things art easel. But it's a great stamp set that stands alone by itself. So we're going to use this little, I don't even know what you call that, sort of viney embellishment, and we're going to use the Enjoy the Little Things sentiment. So this is the vine, and I'm going to use my pink Pirouette because it matches in with this pattern paper. If you didn't know, I always love to look at my pattern paper packs, and a lot of the newer ones, see if this will focus, they actually list on the back what colors are in it. So this particular paper pack has Blushing Bride, Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pool Party, Soft Suede, Watermelon Wonder, and Whisper White. So it tells me what colors are going to match. And because it told me that, it was telling me that I probably didn't actually mean to get Pink Pirouette. I probably meant to get Blushing Bride because that is what's in the card kit. So always good to check what you have there. So I'm using Blushing Bride. Get it right this time. Oops. I just wiggled my stamp. That's the fun and the bad of photopolymer, is that they can move on if you don't press it down firmly. So ink it up with the Blushing Bride, and then you're just going to right on top of where, right above where that is, we're going to stamp. So stamp, and just makes a nice little accent. Then we're going to do our sentiment. We're going to do the Enjoy the Little Things. So grab a scrap of white paper and the Mossy Meadow. This is one of my favorite ink colors that's going away. It's such a great green. So we're going to use it to ink this up. Stamp in the center. Isn't that just such a good bold green? And then we're going to use this 2-inch circle punch to punch him out. So punch. And then what I did is I just wanted to add a little bit more color to tie into the blue, so I grabbed my Pool Party ink to go with that Pool Party ribbon in there, and I just grabbed a sponge dauber and I just went all the way around. It just adds just a little bit of something. I love sponging. If you haven't seen, I have a sponge dauber for almost every color, and I use them. I love them. So I just sponged that, and then we're going to take the 2 3/8 scallop circle and punch one out of the Mossy Meadow. Add a little bit of adhesive. Stick it in the middle. And then I forgot to pull out my dimensionals. I don't know how I could forget that. And we'll just grab a couple to stick on the back here. And I'll probably stick them up kind of above where it's going to be on here. So we'll do them up a little high, because otherwise they'll make it kind of bump when you go over that burlap ribbon. So stick them up on here. There's our sentiment. And then I just wanted one more touch and one more farewell. Have you used these candy dots? Do you love them as much as I do? We are getting new things in the new annual catalog. We're getting different epoxy accents. So they'll come in the different colors. But I really love these kind of flat matte candy dots. They look like brads without the metal underneath. And so what I did is I just took one of the Blushing Bride and I just added it on here just to kind of tie in that little row all the way across. And so there you have a cute card that is not hard to make, and is just a really fun way to use some of your supplies. And I definitely encourage you to try this drapery fold. Once you've done 1 or 2, they get a lot faster, a lot easier. And I recommend making your own little template, because then if you don't do one for a while and then you come back and you're trying to remember, you can always come back to this video. But if you have your own little template, you have it there always on hand for you to find, even when you don't have the internet or cannot remember the URL to find this. So I hope this helped. If you have any questions along the way, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at jennifer@nwstamper.com or leave a comment down below. You can also, I would love if you make a card, just post a picture or send me a link. I'd love to check out what you did with this, because there's so many great ideas. I can't wait to see what you came up with. So I hope you have a great time doing this. I will be back soon with more videos. But in the meantime, thanks so much and happy stamping.